and I forgot what I was saying. What a coincidence, right? I'm actually like in one of these places right now. Just popped off some frequency weapon, I'm sure, or something. And but yeah, I'm at the Walmart and I'm switching between, I think it was like Mint and AT&T. And that was a real, like, they were like, I imagine them like being like in a room or something, you know, and like some weird ass shit is going on or something. Like, it was like they were like talking to each other. I couldn't get like the pin to transfer it. Like, I'm like talking through the services and trying to like connect to my new phones. I got like 2 phones or something. And like this guy like Khan gets on, you know, like Genghis Khan or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like the Chinese guy. Like, you're talking to like the guys, you know what I mean? And through my perspective, right? And then like they took my phone number, bro, and they wouldn't speak to each other. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it happens, where they have to like speak to each other. And so yeah, that was crazy. All the while, like, there's like just the same thing that's going on here, you know? There's like a full on, like, it's the way I imagine it is like a spider almost, you know what I mean? Like an AoE, like an area of effect where it's like around you, you know? They're like possessing the area around you, like possessing people. And that's the way it started too. It was very like, it was weird. I still don't really know what to make of this, but I know that this is what's going on. And I kind of know how it works. Like, you know, they have to run off of numbers. You know what I mean? For example, they have to run off of like certain parameters. It's just like a different language, right? For example, like a vessel, you know what I mean? Like, you're only, when you're like for time travel, for example, like if you're gonna, you could lose yourself. You could lose your perception of yourself. Now that sounds like, oh, well, who cares? There's obviously someone out there who just says, I don't care about anybody. I'll just lose myself. But then also, it's like a scientific thing where it's like, whoa, no, you're gonna lose yourself, like literally. Like, so that's a concept that I understood and anyone can understand, right? Because like the base reality, like, what are you gonna do? And I think I drew it like as a picture too, like a, and then it goes up and then it comes down, and then it goes up and then it comes down. You have to have that bottom anchor to get anywhere. And and so there's just so much stuff I can't even like actually like get into it with you, because it's like there's like, it's like it was like a daily thing. There was always something new. I had a white Chevy. That was one thing. Like, I couldn't seem to like rent. I was pissed off, dude. I'm like, can I rent like any other car? Like, I'm like, it was so aggravating. I'm like, why is it always this like weird controlled bullshit? You know, I want to see like what's going on really. And so that was a problem with the rental car. I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Like, they were just like, you know, controlling the Airbnbs. They were controlling the cars I was in. At one point, I got an EV BMW. a white one. This was really weird. This was a really, like, I could sense that my mom was looking for somebody and that we had been wronged. And I am in this EV Mercedes, not a BMW, Mercedes. And I got it from the airport. And I start driving the Mercedes, and then all the while this is happening, the navigation apps are malfunctioning. So you can imagine that's a big thing. Like the owner of these navigation apps, I imagine they're like, there's something going on in the background where it's like a person like running these things. They're not just computers, you know? And you can imagine what that would look like. You know, they're like, they probably look different. Maybe they're giants, you know, something like that. And then, and so this was really weird. And then what I did was I went looking, you know, like I went looking. Like at this point I had a perception that like Nick Rebecca was the enemy and they were the enemies. There was an enemy, you know what I mean? And then I'm like rather adept at like breaking the matrix, to be honest. I forgot exactly how I did it, but I remember like being in New Jersey, it was weird. So like I found there was a couple of things. One thing that happened to before I get to this, at that Airbnb where there was like, you know, I put the track down, you know, like soothed it out. I'm in Teaneck, I put my head down, and they like, this guy like makes this sound like yo shinda you, and there's like in the background there's fighting or something, you know. At this point I'm just so tired, and I'm like dude, like just like what the fuck is it this time, you know what I mean? And but it was like perceived wrestling almost, you know. And the guy got angry over nothing, literally, about me getting in the bed with my clothes off because I felt comfortable to lay my head down to rest. Wow. I mean, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. Like, what in the fuck? And before that happened, there was like a weird agreement between my mom and this other woman. And I'm like there at the Airbnb, and they're having this like, they're very stingy, you know what I mean? They're like, they don't want to, it's a very like held back, like I don't want to give you this right now, like, and like this is like what's your account? Oh, what's your account? What's your account? What's my account? What's your account? It's like I'm just sitting there like, we could just go somewhere else or something, like, you know what I mean? Like at this point I'm just going along with it, you know what I mean? But there's also that like, this is my mom, you know what I mean? Like, holy fuck. And I'm trying to stay out of it and everything. But when I left after that like agreement, you could imagine, or something, I tracked down, there was like, I had a tail, and this goes hand in hand with what I was about to say. I had a tail, it was a white truck. And so my mom leaves, and then I'm leaving with behind my mom, and then there's this white truck behind me. And I'm like, bro, you're not gonna tail me back home. Like, I hope you realize that. And so I stopped. I made sure he stopped. Actually, I stopped right in front of him, like multiple times. And I made sure that my mom got through. And then furthermore, I went to go find that truck. And then I like turned around, and I did find him. And it was a dude I didn't see his face, but it was a dude in a jacket. I even recorded it. And it was like, I think he was changing his fucking license plate. And I perceive that like what goes on out there is basically like they're like in a different realm where it really is weird like that, bro. Like you like can teleport through your cars, and there's major territories like type protections and shit. I'm gonna excuse my language. It's not shit. It was very weird.